Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing Venus in retrograde in the fiery fixed sign of Leo. Y'all sound like a real astrologer. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you all about Venus retrograde, what you can expect over the next 2 months or and some things you could do to take care of yourself. I might even include this little handout in the show notes. So I'm gonna just ask you to peruse on down there. If I had enough time, that means it's there. If I didn't, I promise I'll get it to you soon. But yeah, let's get into this episode. So first, let's just start off with some definitions because I find that that is the most helpful. Number one, Venus. Venus is the planet of love, of beauty, of earthly abundance, of relationships, creativity, money. She is divine feminine energy, if you will. Venus, the energy of Venus represents our values, our desires, how we express affection, how we prefer to receive affection, right? A feminine energy is all about receiving. What do I receive? Okay. Venus governs our social interactions and our aesthetic. Okay. And it influences our preferences of art, fashion, personal style. It's the vibe, it's the mood. Okay. Venus, that is Venus. So she is just like, I just go around, I'm just getting all my things. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because a feminine energy is more of a receiver energy doesn't mean that this energy doesn't put out things or is not willing to work for the things. I think that's the difference, but it's the primary mode here is what am I receiving? Mars is what am I giving? What am I doing? Venus is like, what am I receiving? Right? The energy of Leo. Now, I'm not talking about people who are Leos. That's a whole different conversation. I'm saying that the Leo energy is a fire sign. So each zodiac is represented by an element: fire, water, air, or earth. Leo is a fire sign. It is all about fire is about passion, about energy, about it is a masculine energy. It's like go do. It's how we get our spunk. When I say a sign is fixed, so a sign could be fixed, mutable, or cardinal. Cardinal means they take initiative, they go first. Mutable means I'm flexible. I can blend in any environment. Fixed means I like it my way or no way. Okay. And if this helps you, because it helps me to remember, is cardinal signs are what we start each season off with. So fall, spring, summer, winter, right? Cardinal is the initiation of the season. Fixed, like Leo, it's like we're firmly in the season. So Leo is we're firmly in summer. Like it's not Cancer season where we're transitioning from spring into what is it, summer, and like Cancer being the start of summer. No, Leo is like we're firmly into summer. And then as we get into Virgo, which is a mutable sign, it'll be more like, okay, let's start to transition again. Hopefully that makes sense. But Leo is it's the sun, it's represented by the sun, right? The sun does not need any permission to shine. It's just doing this big thing. It's huge, right? It warms our planet, it warms other things, right? It is a grand star in the middle of our galaxy, right? And so with Leo being represented by the sun, the Leo energy is like, I'm the center of attention, of course, right? Of course, the sun is the center of attention. Nobody's getting upset at the sun. Why do people get upset at Leo energy? And when you are used to being center of attention, does not mean that that needs to come with arrogance. It could be. Doesn't mean it comes with self-centeredness. It could be. Doesn't mean it has to be selfish, although it could be. Right? Things are not either good or bad. It's not we don't live in a dualistic world, even though like people like to make it seem like we do. Okay, I'm going off on a whole tangent. But Leo is about our creativity, our passion. It represents children. It represents joy. It represents a good orgasm or two. Okay. Hello. Whatever fuels your energy, right? It also represents leadership. It's very charismatic, very dramatic, all about the love, right? And if you are for real close to a Leo, you know that they are like the most softest, like giving people ever. But we all have things that are unfavorable to us, right? Um, and what is very important to a Leo, whether they say it or not, is to recognize them for their many gifts, their talents, what they do for you, show appreciation because they are doing it from a genuine place and their love language is primarily words of affirmation. Now, I'm not meaning to say like if you know a Leo, this is all of who they are because y'all, we all have all the zodiacs influence and make up our being. Okay. I'm just saying primary to Leo energy. All right, so we went over Venus, we went over Leo. Now a retrograde. I talked about this in the Mercury retrograde video. A retrograde is a time for reflection, reassessing, reviewing, reconciliation, maybe not getting back with the person, but reconciling your emotions, right? It is the rule of re. And technically it is when from our viewed from our vantage point on Earth, when we're looking up in the sky, it appears that the planet is going backwards. However, the planet is not going backwards. The planet has just slowed down dramatically. It's taking a little rest break, right? We all need breaks. Let's just take this as a sign from the planet. It's like we all need breaks. So this just means that the planets has slowed down dramatically that when we're looking from Earth, it just appears to be going backwards because we're still going our same speed. In the same way that you're sitting in a car and like at a stoplight, and I don't know if this ever happens to you, like you're sitting in a car and you look over to the other car on the side of you, and it seems like you're going backwards because that car slow down or something. I might have butchered that, but I think y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna come back to it. Y'all, it's a Monday. Agree with me. I'm not editing this, so I just love you for listening to this. Anyway, here are some themes you can expect here. Number one, self-love and self-expression. Y'all, let me back up before I go into this. So let's think about this. We are in the summer. We're in summer. Venus is in Leo. She like, I mean, it's cute. It's not like, I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite place, but it's not my worst place either, right? She like, I just think about when a planet visit certain signs, think about it, they're visiting a certain house. It's like you go over it's like a friend you're getting to know, or maybe your favorite auntie's house or something like that. Like, this is how Venus feels. She's like, it's not like it's mine, but I mean, I feel comfortable. Like it has everything I need. And so when you have a planet you have a planet that's all about receiving and being like also low key loving to be the center of attention of things, but that's a whole other conversation. Have a planet that's all about beauty and the aesthetic and the vibe and the mood goes into a house that's like, I'm here for the flair, for the dramatics. What do you think is going to happen in this summer? Right, you got two of your friends, you got the dramatic one and the bougie one coming together. What do you think is going to happen this summer? It's to me, it's no coincidence that the Renaissance tour is happening because I feel like that is an accurate depiction of Venus and Leo. So when we think about retrograde, usually because we're going backwards, we're slowing down. It is a time to review, to look backwards, to look inwards. And so going to this first theme of self-love and self-expression, this is a time for you to look at like, what is your personal aesthetic? How do you get dressed in the morning? How does your outward appearance look? How do you feel on the inside about your outward appearance? Now, this is not a time for you to talk shit on yourself. This is about, do you like how you present yourself? Is there something different that you would like to do? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to caution you to review this right now, reflect, do some journaling, put some thoughts down on some paper, but absolutely not are we going to make any permanent decisions about our outward appearance. No hair dyes, no haircuts, no surgeries, no, nothing that is permanent. Now, if you tried out a new foundation, that's different. You tried out a new, like shirt or a new clothing store, okay, that's different. But we're not going to make any permanent changes. You never want to do anything permanent. I'm not going to say never. Never say never. Okay, Brandy? Avoid if you can, making decisions about your physical appearance. Now, if you had a surgery that you scheduled back in February, January, okay, that's a different story because you made a decision. You didn't make that decision under a Venus retrograde. You might have made it under Mercury retrograde, and that's a whole different thing. But you didn't make it under a Venus retrograde. But if you're going to make a decision within the next day or two, and then you think you're gonna go like change your hair or I don't know, weight loss surgery or something, you may find that come October, November, you regret it. You may find that you like, I don't know why I did this. It's making me think of a roommate of mine got a haircut and it looked so cute. And I need to go back, but I bet it was a Venus retrograde. But she got a haircut and then she came home and it hit her that she cut off because her hair was like mid back and she got a like pixie cut kind of thing going. Y'all, she was in tears because I think the shock of it happened. That's something you can expect here. But this is a great time, not to scare you. I just want to put that warning, but this is a great time for you to really think about what is it that I love about myself? What is it that what is it that I appreciate about myself? What do I want to double down on as it when it comes to myself, how I love myself, how I express myself? Taking this time to really get to know you, like date yourself this summer. Take yourself out, go to different like things that you would never think about going to or visiting. Go and do that. This is the summer for that. Second theme here is relationships, y'all. Relationships. And I don't mean just romantic relationships. I mean all relationships, but like let's go to romantic relationships. A lot of what you're going to hear from astrologers is talking about your romantic life in this Venus retrograde. And yes, that's absolutely a thing because it's summer, summer love, Leo, right? That's always a thing. But like Venus is like, no, I'm coming for all your relationships. What you may find, here's what I am like my assumptions here, or my not assumptions, but like predictions. I'm like, what is the word I'm looking for? Predictions is that a lot of people, especially my friends who dabble more than they like to into people pleasing and perfectionism, are going to find out that this summer you're going to be a whole ass villain. Like you're going to be like, I don't want to do this. I don't have time for it. Now, whether you do that from a place of you just avoided the situation or the person so much that they get the point, or you really just tell them about themselves, like you like I just think it's funny how, and then you just let them have it. That's where we're going for. There are people and things that you've been trying to in your mind be patient with, and it's not about being patient, it's that you've been biting your tongue too long. This is romance, this is friendship, this is partnerships, this is parents, this is families, this is whatever, right? It is in your effort to think about what is it that I like about myself, what is it that I need, what contributes to my self-worth, self-love, self-expression, what ultimately is also going to come up are relationships. Like, do these relationships help me to be the person I want to be? Like, is this person, do I feel safe around this person? Do I feel like I'm really anxious around this person? Does this person make me question everything about me? Do I pick myself apart when I'm around this person? If those things are coming up, I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, yeah, I'm good on it. I don't need it. Or you may go the other way. Some of y'all may double down on people pleasing and being and really seeking for validation, right? Because the shadow side of Leo energy is, do you like me? Did you see what I did? Like, you didn't give me enough attention. Am I doing this okay? It could be a hunger, if you will, for validation and attention. So whether you are the person who has had it or you are the person who keep seeking for external validation, just know that there may be some friction here, some tension, some fights. Listen, some things happen during the retrograde, and then by the end of it, they are reversed. A lot of things happen that way, which is why I'm like, don't make no permanent decisions because this is not the energy that is stable. Um, it's not a stable energy. It's not yeah, but it is a stubborn energy because when a sign is a fixed sign, so Leo's a fixed sign, people can dig in their heels. They can get really stuck in their ways. They can be like, it's my way or no way. So just What I've been telling people is drink your water and pause before you respond to somebody in a situation. Tell them, thank you for sharing with me. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna get back to you tomorrow because if you respond in a moment, I just don't know how you might respond. All right. You may find yourself reconnecting with joy and pleasure and playfulness, going back to your childhood, nostalgia during this retrograde. Like you may, I don't know, let me think of something. I don't know. Why is Connect Four? You know what? Let's go with maybe you love playing Connect Four as a child and you have this urge to do that. Or maybe it's puzzles, or maybe you like want to go to the park and get on the swings, or maybe you want to go to Legoland or something. Like you may find yourself going back to things that you enjoyed or you wanted to do as a child. And you're like, why not? You may find yourself splurging on tickets. A lot of people are going to Vegas to see Usher or the Renaissance tour, or Drake is on tour. Lizzo is, I think, across the world. And I don't want to make no assumptions that y'all are all US based, but I feel like the last time I saw she was in Australia or she was going through Asia. Don't quote me, right? But my point is there's a lot of concerts happening. The Barbie movie just came out this past weekend. And listen, y'all, I just feel like I need to go see the movie because how hard the marketing team was working. Y'all, listen, I have never, and I feel like I grew up loving Barbie. I had all things Barbie. And so that goes in this theme, but like this marketing team, y'all, give these people an award or something, or 2 or 10. Because I have never, and I want to know what that budget was like. I think I saw this morning that it had surpassed like 142 million. It's only opening weekend, y'all, and I'm sure it'll continue. But yeah, Barbie would be a perfect example because that's very nostalgic. It's very like pretty. It's social norms of pink and beauty and aesthetic, right? It's Barbie. It's coming out in the summer and came out in the middle, it's at the start of the retrograde, right? It is playful, it's meant for little kids. I don't know, nobody can even knows what the movie is about, which is I think is hilarious, but everybody went to go see it. But usually like Barbie, right, it's like joyful, at least that's how it's marketed. And it's this is the summer for your inner child to go do all the things that they wanted to do and never could do. So if it's not Barbie for you, is there something else that is coming out that you're like, or that you caught your attention that you're like, yes. And one of the last thing, and this is not an exhaustive list, but it's just something I wanted to take note of. One of the last thing is your personal style. I know this will probably go to the first one about how you express yourself, but it's just I want to go deeper into this because Barbie, right, for me at least, one of the things I think about with Barbie is like there's an endless closet and we got shoes, we got hair, we got clothes, we got tiaras, like we got all the things. Y'all, something is happening right now. There's a bunch of squirrels in my front yard. Okay, a bunch, like 2 or 3, and they're all listening to something, and I'm not really sure what's happening. Like, is the rapture coming? Okay, I don't know. They all got the same stance. I'm just happy they feel safe in my front yard. Okay, we're back. Personal style. Experiment with different looks. This is not okay, maybe you don't you're like, girl, who has money? Or you don't want to spend money on clothes, and I hear you. Go to your closet. This is a perfect time to do some organizing, some cleaning out of some things, and shop in your own closet, and figure out how you can pair things together that you normally wouldn't pair together. Maybe there's some items in the back of your closet that you forgot about that you haven't worn in ages. You want to do that. I want you to think about though, like all the stuff that's in your closet, does it fit who you are today? I was just talking to someone about this, about they were like, yeah, I don't want to wear any of my clothes. I'm like, yeah, because that's not who you are anymore. And if these clothes don't reflect who you are and you're not wearing them, why do we have them in our homes? This is a great time to purge and let go. Now, if anything comes up and you're like, oh, I really love it, I can't part with it, put it back in a closet. Because we're not trying to make those type of decisions. But the easy, like low-hanging fruit, let's remove them. But even beyond like clothing, just think about the things in your environment. Think about your business. Think about the aesthetic of your business. Aesthetic is beyond just like brand colors and fonts and logos, but what's the aesthetic? When people think of you, what imagery comes to mind, do you think? And maybe this is a fun question to ask your clients. But maybe you need a little spruce. Maybe you need a little pop of color. Not saying you need to do a whole brand overhaul, but like add a color or two. So something to think about. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to go backwards a little bit. So the last time Venus station retrograde was, who, y'all, it was December 19th, 2021 to January 29th, 2022. Venus station retrograde about every 18 months. And so the last time was, like I said, last December of 2021, not last, but 2 Decembers ago. And that was a Venus retrograde in Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn is all about rules, restriction, order, perfectly curated plan, hard work, discipline. Do you need to have fun? You don't need to have no fun. Do the work, right? That's how I think about Capricorn, even though they're the most like softest, gushy people on the inside, but you got to go through a hard shell to get there. Okay, I'm digressing. Right. So Venus being like, I love my things. It's a mood, it's a vibe, and boring, stale Capricorn. I'm not talking about Capricorn people. I'm talking about the energy. Y'all don't get offended. But right, like she went into Capricorn being like, what is this? Why? And so while that was a focus on relationship, it was more about the practicalness of the relationships, the structure, our stability. Are we committing here? Like, I don't got time to play with you no more. Are we doing this or not? It was about us thinking about like our goals, our ambitions. Like, it's great that you got the dream and the vision, but do you have the discipline, to drive, the plan to achieve those things? It really, that Venus in Capricorn was about security and responsibility, because Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. That's all what Saturn does. This is also the time where the Roe v. Wade decision was overturned. This was a Venus retrograde in Capricorn, because Venus is typically having to do with femmes, women. And so Capricorn is about structure, rule, the tradition. And when things go backwards, some things get repealed. And so that's what happens. So we can reasonably expect that in this Venus retrograde in Leo, that there may be some new legislation that comes out regarding women and femmes. We could assume that maybe some new initiatives, people getting louder, more dramatic. Y'all, because these relationship podcasts that keep popping up on my feed about, it's either like women are trash and men are trash and everybody's fighting and yelling and everybody got a PhD now and just using all these big words and these theories. And I'm just exhausted. Like, I know I even promoted everybody should have a podcast, but some of y'all don't need one. But that would be like, I'm just trying to draw parallels between Venus retrograde in Capricorn and Venus retrograde in Leo. This is what I'm noticing. I'd be curious to know what y'all are noticing. But yeah, that last Venus retrograde was very slow and steady and boring. This one is very fast, action packed. Let's get it, girls. We don't have no time for this. All right. And I feel like I'm just now recovering from that last Venus retrograde in Capricorn. So I'm just like, girl, when you go retrograde right now, as you're going in Leo, act like you got some sense, because I cannot do another one like that one. Okay, y'all. Who? Okay, anyway, that's a whole nother story time later. But yeah, I would just ask you to reflect back on December of 2021 and January of 2022. What was going on for you? What are some major things that happened? And those things may come back around this time, but not the same. It's like the same flavor, but a different meal, if you will. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to say? Here's some other things to think about as this come up. People from your past may come up, old relationships. I got one client who I feel like every ex that she ever had just called her within like a 2 or 3 day period, because people start coming back, and they come back old flames, maybe like situationships, people you wanted to talk to but just never had a chance, they come back, not necessarily because it's fate and y'all like are supposed to be together. No, a lot of times when these people are returning, it's an opportunity for us to what? Reflect, revisit, reconciliation, but more so for our own healing and closure. You don't need to talk to this person for closure, but just know that they may be coming back around, and they could be physically coming back around, or you could be thinking about them a lot. Again, this is not an invitation for you to go and talk to them and call them, especially if it ended because it needed to end. This is not a time for you to like try to force anything. It's just retrogrades have a way of bringing the people back. You like, what? Okay, they come back. Um, like I said earlier, you may be ending some relationships. You may be like, we're not compatible no more. At a season of life, we used to be real tight, but we have grown apart because that's the real thing. Some people may notice that they are more, they got creative blocks, writing blocks, like they just can't do a thing. I'm going to really suggest for you to get outside, connect with your inner child, and go play because this is a season of playing. Right. And here's the warning, friend, as y'all are out here having the best summer of your life, you better guard your money, guard your things, because there is an energy where we are more encouraged to overspend, overindulge, while Venus loves her things. And sometimes she can get a little bit carried away. And then you gonna come into fall life, you're gonna get into the holiday season. If you do that, if you buy gifts or whatnot, and you're gonna be real sad because you're gonna realize you spent all your money in July or August. Now, it's great for the Instagram to have the pictures for the trips and the concerts, but do you need to go to all of them? Do you? So that is my major warning. Number one, do not make any final, permanent, major decisions as it relates to your appearance or relationships, and be very considerate of your financial life, health, okay? Because, okay. And don't be alarmed if you cuss a folk out or two, okay? Now, how I'm going to end this is I'm going to go by each zodiac sign, and I'm going to tell you what area of your life can you expect Venus retrograde to influence. I am going to strongly encourage you to listen for your rising sign and your moon sign, but more your rising sign. You can listen for your sun sign, but just know that it may not be accurate unless your sun sign is the same as your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, you need your birth date and you need your birth time and birth location. To calculate that, you can Google. There's so many things that come up. But y'all, and even if you can't get the exact time, if you can get just about the right time, at least it'll give you a ballpark. It'll give you a ballpark to look into. But your sun sign, I know people focus on that. Y'all, that's not it. And try not to be too elitist here, but like your sun sign is just play. It's pop psychology, if you will. Okay. Let me go through this. So Aries risings. This is in your fifth house of Leo, but fifth house, creativity, romance, self-expression, and hobbies. My Aries people, like please go have fun. Please, you don't need to cuss everybody out. Go have some fun, enjoy, right? Taurus rising. This is going to happen in your fourth house, which is home, family roots, emotional well-being. It's a great time for you to go take yourself home. Think about the aesthetic in your house. Think about, does your home represent you, your personality? Like, are there some things you might want to spruce up? Do you want to change? Do you want to paint some stuff? Like, what do you want to do? Gemini, this is happening in your third house of communication, learning, siblings, short travels. So you may be going, this might look like you may be traveling to go to the concerts, or you may be, visiting family, like extended families. Maybe there's like because this is the season of family reunions and different cookouts and things of that nature. So you may be really involved with that. You may be showing up a lot on social media and just talking shit with people. Great. It's not meant to be serious. Cancer, this is in your second house. finances, possessions, self-worth, material, security. You all about that bag. You like, what work do I need to do to get the bag? Now, Cancers, because you also like nice things, let's not go buy everything, okay? Let's just save some money for later. All right. Leos, Leo risings. This is in your first house. So self-image, identity, personal expression. Yeah, I just found out I was a Leo rising because I think I said this in another podcast, but like I had to redo my chart or whatever. Leo rising, which makes my top three all fire. It makes more sense if you know me, friend. But Leo's is about self-image, identity, personal expression. So I've just been getting the urge to like do this podcast, y'all. It's been a minute, and here I am. I've been doing more urges to like get on the internet and do things. I've been really thinking about who am I? How do I want to show up, especially the second half of the year? Like, I just feel like a new sense of energy that I did not have the first half of this year. Virgo, this is in your 12th house. It's in your inner world, spirituality, subconscious healing. Virgos, risings, you may just want to spend a lot of time alone. You may not want to talk to nobody. And people are going to try to get you to come out. And I'm going to just need you to politely decline that, nope, this is a time for you to do a lot of reflection. I wouldn't be surprised, Virgos, if you like made because it's Virgo. You made a whole list of 100 movies you want to watch for the next 2 months, right? That's the type of thing you're on. You're like, how do I have this a little cute stay in energy? I'm gonna get my popcorn. I'm gonna get my fancy snacks from that place around the corner, and I'm just gonna watch a bunch of TV. That might be it. Or you may find one or two of your favorite people, but it's a lot of inside, a lot of alone time, a lot of connecting with your spiritual source. Okay, Libra risings. This is in your 11th house of friendship, social networks, hopes, and aspirations. You want, listen, Libra, you love some good friends, you love good relationships. You're going to be out doing things. You may be going to a lot of networking events, and people might be just coming up to you and being like, oh, I just don't know what it is. I need to network with you. I need to go do things with you. Like you just you just giving off just the aura of like, yes, talk to me. I mean, Venus is your planet that you're ruled by, so that would make sense. Um, just be careful. I would say here that don't internalize other people's stuff about, oh, you must think you're all that, or oh, things just come so easy for you. That ain't your business. Ignore them. All right. Scorpio rising. This is in your 10th house of career, reputation, public image, long-term goals. You are just again about the bag, but not even about the money per se, about the promotion or rising up the ranks. You may be like letting people see you a little bit more because you can be a little bit intense and a little bit distrusting and like you don't want people to know what you're working on, but you about to let everybody know. Like everybody's on notice and they gonna see you. Just be careful that you'll get too full of yourself, okay, friend? But if you do, you're a fixed energy. You know how to handle it. I don't know what to say. Sagittarius rising. Higher, this is in your 9th house of higher education, philosophy, travel, spirituality too. This is a little bit different than Virgo. Sagittarius is more about like the teacher energy, the what do you call it? Like the professor, the I want to get to know different groups of people. So Sag risings, you may be like, oh, I just saw this $600 ticket to Greece for tomorrow. I'm just gonna throw a little carry-on bag and I'm going. Right? You might be doing that. Or you might be like, oh, this is new church. Let me go try that out. And you like, oh, I really like it here. It's fancy and nice and the aesthetic. I'm staying. Right? You might just be making decisions that seem groundless to other people, but you're just enjoying yourself. So have fun. Capricorn rising, intimacy, shared resources, transformation, sexuality. This is your 8th house. So listen, Capricorns, the people don't know. They don't know. Because one thing I forgot to mention about a Venus retrograde is that the people gonna be having sex. They're gonna be having a lot of sex. But I digress. You gonna be having a lot of sex, friend. Lots of sex. Or things pertaining to sexual organs. Or maybe it's on the other end, because the 8th house has a lot in it. Maybe it's on the other end of you really starting to see your power, your dominance that you have with other people. And maybe you get into some little dom sub situation in sex. I don't really know, but it's gonna be a good time. Aquarius rising, it is in your seventh house of partnerships, marriage, one-on-one relationships. Aquarius, listen, you may find you a boo thing, or you may already be with somebody and you may be rethinking things, but just let it take your time before you make decisions. You don't have to rush anything. Just fill it out. You, friend, don't like to share your emotions, and you don't like to like show your hand in relationships. It's okay. You can talk to people. You can use your words. You have a lot of them. Please use them. And then Pisces rising, it is in your sixth house of health, daily routine, service, work environment. I know you don't like structure, and I know you don't like the boundaries, but these things are important. This summer is all about the beauty on the inside, your health. How's that going? Mental, physical, emotional health. How are your daily routines helping you feel good and take care of yourselves? Is your employment, your day-to-day work, is that like helping you get where you want to go, or do some things need to change? So that will be your focus. All right, y'all, this is already longer than I thought it would be, but I just want to say retrogrades are not meant to be feared. I know people make a big deal out of it. This is not a Mercury retrograde where we're worried about losing whole websites and typos. No, this is all about our relationships, the relationship to ourselves and the relationship to others. And this is meant to just have a good time this summer, but being reflective. So that's why I called this a hot girl healing summer, because we doing all of it, okay? The height of this retrograde will last until about October, y'all, but we are going to be working on these themes and situations for the next 18 months. Like I told you, I just feel like I just healed from the last one, and here we are again. But I hope that you have lots of fun, lots of travel, lots of people, lots of sex. And I want to also let y'all know that if you ever want a private reading, it's 90 minutes. I'm offering them right now for $55 in celebration of Venus retrograde. So you can hit the link in the show notes. But that's going to do it for me, y'all. I will talk to you next week. Bye.